Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is repeating history. That is right. We are seeing a rare opportunity unfold right in front of us, potentially pointing towards a major breakout coming very, very soon. While the price of Bitcoin just officially confirmed the breakout above this important Fibonacci level on this chart, while the price is also heading towards this short-term price target. So I'll be talking about all of that and so much more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before we take a look at the Bitcoin charts today, we need to once again talk about the Bitcoin news today, because just yesterday on Friday, we saw another decent sized net inflow into the spot Bitcoin ETFs. This time around, there was a net inflow of just under $500 million US, more specifically around 490 million US coming into the Bitcoin ETFs just on Friday. And especially over the last few days here, BlackRock has been the #1 buyer of Bitcoin when it comes to the Bitcoin ETFs, because we've seen huge net inflows into just specifically the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF here. In fact, just on Friday, we saw over $500 million of an inflow into the BlackRock ETF. But obviously, with the outflow from Grayscale, that gives us a total net inflow of just under $500 million. And so the big players over on Wall Street are still accumulating massive amounts of Bitcoin right now at the current prices, which tells you they think the price of Bitcoin is going to go much, much higher from where it is right now. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, we're still playing out this huge bull market signal. Of course, if you've been watching my recent videos here on the channel, you would already know about this chart right here, playing out a massive bull market. And the same can be said about this weekly Bitcoin chart, as the weekly Bitcoin MACD is still showing a lot of bullish momentum. And if we're taking a look at this 4-day Bitcoin chart, the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bullish market. So these three different charts right here are all pointing towards a major bull run in the price of Bitcoin for at least a number of months, most likely potentially up to a year or so. Well into 2025 is likely when we'll continue to see this bull run. And just over the last 1 day, we have now officially confirmed a 3-day candle close in the price of Bitcoin above this 1618 Fibonacci extension, which was sitting at around 94 to 95,000. And as I already said, over the last few days, obviously we've already broken out above 94 to 95K, but we've now finally seen that 3-day candle close above this Fibonacci extension, which only just happened over the last 1 day. And so technically speaking, this now officially confirms the breakout above this Fibonacci extension, which means this should now become new support. In case for whatever reason we see a slight little pullback here in the short term, I would expect support at around 94 to 95,000 if we actually see a pullback. But ultimately, we're still looking very bullish, as we can see here, currently playing out a major bull run. And just before talking about the next major price targets and also history repeating in the short term, first, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally, I take most of my trades over on Bybit, so I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link below this video to make your Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, which is a 500 USDT position airdrop. So basically a free $500 trade as your first trade over on Bybit, but that's only available if you use the link below this video to make your Bybit account and deposit on that account. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there's also Bitfinex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitfinex, which means if you're in the US or the UK or another country where you might not be able to access Bybit, you can access Bitfinex. So I'll also leave a link to Bitfinex below this video. And if you use that link, you can get up to a 5.5K deposit bonus. And only if you use that link, you can get an exclusive 10% discount on all trading fees on the Bitfinex exchange forever. But that's only available if you use the link below this video to make your Bitfinex account. So as another option out there, other than Bybit, one that you can access from the US, once again, there's Bitfinex, links down below if you want to claim those extra bonuses. But with that being said, taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, we still have this 1618 Fibonacci extension drawn from the Fibonacci retracement tool from the old bull market high of 69,000 down to the bear market bottom on the weekly time frame. This gives us the 1618 Fibonacci extension at around $102,000. And of course, as I mentioned yesterday, at around that 100k level, that's a strong psychological level. Everyone's focusing on 100k, so that is also acting as a bit of resistance. So essentially, in between around 100,000 to 102,000, we should expect some resistance around there. But once we can finally see a confirmed breakout above around 102, then in that case, we'll likely head up towards around 113,000, which is this 2618 Fibonacci extension on the 3-day time frame, sitting at around 113k. And if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at this 6-hour time frame, like I've said over the last few days, we already hit this technical price target for this symmetrical triangle pattern right here, which was sitting at just underneath $97,000. But if we're looking at the complete flagpole price target for this bullish continuation pattern, that massive price target right here is sitting at around $110,000 per Bitcoin. So from where we are right now, as of recording this video, to that technical price target, that's still around an 11 to 12% move towards the upside. And so we're only roughly around halfway between the point of the breakout right here and that complete technical price target, which means there's still potentially an opportunity here. But even though we have this price target in play right now, obviously we cannot ignore resistance. We should still expect some resistance at around 100,000 to 102,000. But once we can break out beyond that area, then it's very likely we'll quickly head up towards around 110k and 113k as more price targets. And with that being said, if we're zooming into the short term, this is the 1-hour Bitcoin chart. And on the left-hand side, this is also the Bitcoin chart, but on the 12-hour time frame. And this is showing price action that we saw around November and December 2020. So pretty much exactly 4 years ago. And I'm talking about this because I zoomed into the short term on the price of Bitcoin right here, and I recognize this price structure very, very clearly because this was pretty much the exact same price structure that we saw back here in 2020, near the end of 2020, right before we broke out above that all-important $20,000 level. And so obviously right now, everyone is focusing on that 100k price level. But back then, near the end of 2020 and years before that point, everyone was focusing on the 20k price level all the way from the 2017 bull market top, because Bitcoin topped out back in 2017, basically just underneath 20,000. And so for years and years, people were focusing on that 20k price level. That was a major psychological level that everyone was focusing on. And basically we ran all the way up towards 20,000. Saw pretty much a short-term pullback, a rejection just before we got that level, and then we pumped even closer towards that 20k level near the end of 2020, and then we didn't quite get there again on that next attempt. Saw another little pullback here, but created a higher low, and then we ultimately on that final attempt confirmed the breakout. And as soon as we confirmed the breakout above $20,000 per Bitcoin back near the end of 2020, we can see the price exploded to the upside. And the type of move we're talking about here from that 20k level, we're talking about within around a day, more than a 15% move towards the upside, which, for example, with the current price of Bitcoin, that would send the price of Bitcoin well beyond $110,000, potentially in a matter of days. And not only are we seeing extremely similar price structure in the price of Bitcoin, if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin RSI, this is also playing out very, very similar structure here with essentially lower highs and lower lows, but we actually have a major dip basically in the middle of this downtrend right here in the RSI. And so in the shorter term, this RSI with lower highs in the RSI and higher highs in the price, both of these examples right here created a bearish divergence, which ultimately lost a bit of bullish momentum here in the short term. That's exactly what we're seeing right now and what we saw last time. We've lost a little bit of bullish momentum here. But the moment we started to see a breakout in that RSI above that descending line of resistance, at that point right there, that was the first major signal telling us that it's very likely that on this next attempt, we're going to see that huge breakout beyond $20,000. And I was there when that happened 4 years ago. And right now we're seeing almost the exact same thing. The RSI is getting very close to breaking out here above this descending line of resistance. And as soon as we see that actually confirm, which could happen potentially in the coming hours over the next 1 day or so, once we see that, then there's a good chance that on this next attempt, we will finally break out above $100,000 very, very soon, potentially in the coming hours, maybe over the next few days. And once again, if history is any indication, if we continue to play out this very similar price structure, there's a good chance that once we finally break out above that 100k level, the price will go much, much higher very quickly. And so just keep this in mind. We're seeing very, very similar price structure right now, coming up towards a major psychological level on the price chart at the same time of the year, around November, December. So very, very similar stuff is happening right now. And with that being said, if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, looking at the last 1 week worth of price action, we can see over this last 1 week, we've seen short squeeze after short squeeze after short squeeze, with the price pushing up higher to wipe out these short positions right here, this liquidity to the upside. And right now we're building another area of liquidity above the current price, sitting in between around 99.7K to just above 100,000, around 100,500. And so in other words, once we can finally see a breakout above 100K, that will likely trigger another short squeeze, wiping out a lot of short positions in the market once we see a breakout above 100,000, which could push the price much, much higher in line with this prediction. And so if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos, which by the way, right now I'm posting 2 videos a day in case you didn't already notice, 1 Bitcoin video every day and 1 altcoin video every day. And once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, get set up, ready to go on those exchanges, links down below this video if you want to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.